Hello, in this video I'm going to continue with Football Manager, and we're going to look at the different components of it, and we're going to think about how we can code for the concepts that are in this game. Now, we've been looking at how we interact with the game, and I think that really thinking about how a user interacts with a piece of software is extremely important. Thinking about the widgets, obviously during this time that the game was made, we didn't have things like widgets, so the designers had to think of other ways that we could interact with the games. But I'd like you to think about how you would make a team class, and how you would make a player class, and how you would organize a league in modern day languages such as Python or Java. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel for more fun videos. I remember having meetings based upon this game with my brother and one of my cousins on what players we were going to pick and how we were going to approach it. The problem of defeating another team. It was amazing, actually, how interesting this game was. So, think about that. How are you going to make a game interesting? By personalizing it, by having some action, by having points, XP, money, whatever it is that you can then spend to improve your chances of winning next time. It then gives us the rundown of like the other matches, and at the beginning of the season, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so while this is happening, think about how a computer might order the teams based upon whether they won or not. Okay, now we move on to the next part of the game, the weekly bills. It's like, there's the wages, there's ground rent and loan interest. Well, we haven't done anything there. Now, part of the game is that, to really get anywhere, you need to take out a loan, quite a substantial loan, and pick up some really good quality players to get anywhere. This is the weekly balance, and at the moment there's not a lot we can do. Now, you'll see my name has appeared here. Now, see, like, when I was a kid, me, my brother, and my cousin, we would all have our names in, and we would be looking for on the transfer market specifically for us, and we had this deal that we were going to buy us no matter what. But we would have looked at the skill levels, and it's like, skill level 1. That's an absolute disaster. We'd be looking for like skill level 4 or 5, so we look at this anyway, and just for this tutorial, I'm going to put in a bid. Now, you want to put in a reasonable bid. If you put in a too big a bid, you're probably not going to get anywhere. So if I do like I put in that much and see what happens. Has joined your team. We now continue, and now if I look at the players, I can go to a. I now have this player, and he's not picked. He's in yellow, so I think the yellow, it doesn't actually mean it's a yellow card. It means he's not picked. So I must have like 13 players now. So obviously I had I had a substitute. I could have changed who it is, who was in there. So I'm going to leave that team as it is at the moment. So now we move on onto another part of the game, which makes it exciting. The FA Cup match, round one. We're playing Stockport. We've got a chance because they're in our division. Right, players picked. This means there's 10. That means that's bad news. Something has happened. Right, in order to be able to find out what's happened, we've got to type C to change the team. And it looks like one of our forwards, Keegan, is injured, denoted by the green there. Obviously, this cursor is nothing to do with the spectrum. It's because I'm running it in an emulator. So the green there is indicating that Keegan is injured and he's not going to be able to play. Has a lot of energy there, but his skill level is rather low. We need some better forwards here. McDonald, his skill is at 4 and he is already picked. And now, right. So this Talbot here, he's number 15. He has lots of energy and he has a skill level of 3. So that's not too bad, is it? So we're going to put him in. Now it gives us the rundown, and like Stockport's energy is very low. Their morale is very low. Their defense is not very low, but it is low. Their midfield is slightly better than ours, but not that much. And their attack is much better. Now we stand a chance, but we need a bit of luck here. So let's see what happens. Oh, and there's a good start for Spurs. Oh, and they've got another one. Stockport pull one back. And this time, Spurs defend well. Okay, and it finishes there. Spurs win 2-1. I mean, this is elation. Gate receives FA Cup, always better. It then gives us some feedback. Okay, so it's using feedback to let the user know where they are, what's going on, and it's highlighting it. So if we look at the flashing cursor down there at the bottom, now we can see that we're meant to do something, and it is next to the label which says hit enter to continue. Okay, so you can think about this as being visual and affordance. If you don't know what visual and affordance is in computer programming and software engineering, then don't worry, because I will go over that another time. You can look it up on the internet for yourself. Now, this guy here is obviously, he is a much better player. Look at the skill level. The energy is not too good though. So we could make a bid for this guy, but I don't think we're going to be that successful. Oh, and we got him. So that was a bit of luck there. Okay, so that's quite an exciting like little addition of the game is that you have this opportunity to buy a player. Now sometimes your bid will be rejected. So you might buy a player who is older and then doesn't play for you for very long. You know, they disappear for some reason, if I remember correctly. These are all parts of the game that make it so much interesting. So even though it hasn't got fancy graphics, it still was a whole load of fun to play. So you know, I could think about like you know putting a player on a transfer list to try and raise a bit of cash. I can't put Keegan on there because he's injured. We won't get a lot. So I could put Hoddle there, couldn't I? Let's put him on the market and see what happens. Right now we've had an offer and we have an opportunity to choose whether we want to accept that offer or not. 5, 1, 2, 3. It's not bad. It's a little bit over what he's worth. But do we accept that, yes or no? Let's say no, just to see what happens. Okay, so if I put A in again, will I be able to put him back on the market? I can't now. Because if you refuse the bid, they then become injured. I don't know why. But that seems to be like, you know, a kind of a common thing that goes on. I don't think it's a glitch or anything. I think it's just to stop you from holding out for the best price. You have to make a decision about what you want. Let's do continue. Right, and do continue again. Right, this is a league match, and we're going to be playing Berry, who are a little bit below us. So let's see what happens now. Again, it goes back to giving us the rundown, and their energy is very low. Their morale is level with us. Their defense is dreadful. Their midfield is not too bad. And their attack, they're pretty sort of like even, but we should beat them really. But we've got 11 players, but I want to have a look at the team. So let's check out the team. And now Hoddle is okay again, and so are our other players. So which player am I going to put in? I'm going to have to take somebody out and put someone in. So I think I want to put in number 18 because he looks like a star. Right, now I've got to remove somebody from the team. Now who is that going to be? I think number 5 needs a bit of a rest. Slow on energy, skills not that good. Okay, so I think that will do. I move on to the next part. And Spurs are on the attack. And oh, it's in the back of the net straight away. And Spurs are on the attack again. Oh, and this time it goes in the bottom corner. Well done. although the graphics here, as I've said before, are rubbish in compared to today's standards, and they weren't that great back then in the day, they still serve their purpose of giving the game player some feedback on what's actually going on, and it helps with the fun and the suspense of what's happening. So it's better than just it being a text game. There is some graphics at least. And there's the end of the match. Barry didn't even get a look in. So now it's going to adjust all of the positions and everything. So how would you do that? How would you create a little game like this, say using Java or Python? You don't have to worry about the graphics, but like think about how you're going to have just a few teams, a few players, how you would put in all of that choice. Try and make it as simple as possible. I'm going to continue playing this for a little bit. I really hope you liked my video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and come and check out my channel.